you're the coach, you're the trainer, you're doing a check-in, or whether it's with one-on-one or you're working with your group, right? You're doing your weekly Zoom call, you're doing your check-ins, and your clients' stats aren't what they should be, right? They haven't been tracking their meals, they haven't been tracking their training, and they jump on and they tell you that they have, right? Or even if it's a new client and they're telling you what their eating habits are, and you're hearing where they're currently at, and you're looking at what they've written, and you're like, this don't add up, right? And they're now going down this rabbit hole of excuses and lies, right? Our goal as coaches and trainers and leaders isn't to demonize our clients, right? No. We're there in service. Now, if you've got the skill set of breath work, in that moment, you can go, let's pause, right? I'm going to get you just to follow your breath for a second. We're on a Zoom call, you hit the music, right? All I'm going to get you to do is to follow your breath right now, right? You can just close your mouth, follow your breath into your nose, down into your belly, up to your chest, and back out again. And just what we're going to do right now is we're going to self-regulate, right? Have you been, and just use your head to nod, if you've been feeling a little bit dysregulated, life's been getting a little bit busy, hasn't it? And they go, yep. And right now they're breathing, right? We're going to exhale with a few sighs and back to your normal breath. How are we feeling right now? And your client goes, yeah, I really needed that, huh? Now tell me, what's the honest truth? I haven't been tracking. You're right. If a coach or a trainer has the skill to be able to now regulate their client also has the ability to feel like they're being seen and heard as well. That I'm not just here and I'm going to, get ripped into because I didn't follow my meal plan, I didn't stick to my training program, maybe I did 50%, maybe I did 80%, right? But like we're here, we've got a relationship and the whole goal is about improving, the client's life, right? But if your client doesn't do that, where do we go from there?
But even just take what you said then, you take that, you translate that as a coach, you might be thinking, listening right now, yeah, that sounds good, but you're saying that as a master in the field. Well, you know what? Take that. All that Lino's just done then is improved his client's compliance, which now equals more results, which means that you're actually upholding your term of the arrangement with your client from a contract and an energetic standpoint, which is getting you more results, getting more business, like the whole thing. It's almost like a best kept secret as a tool for a coach.
Absolutely.
That most coaches aren't even aware of.
But there's the honesty check
in my whole
it's like a ninja move.
Career was not aware of this at all.
Yeah.
My first experience, I'm like, how has no one told me about this? How did I not know about this?
Do you ever get anyone resistant to and how do you break through if someone is resistant? Because it's just about letting go, right?
I think setting the table first, having the conversation, the rapport has to be there.
Yeah.
Right? And as your clients are talking to you, right, you're starting to do the math. Yeah. Something ain't adding up.
But you know what will happen? Anyone that's listening to this right now, you're not just listening to it because you follow Clean Health or you follow Men's Medicine or whatever. You're listening to it because it interests you or you've never heard of it, but you're listening to it anyway because you meant to, right? You actually meant to hear it. So I think as a coach, you will start attracting people that are going to vibe with this as it is anyway. And no doubt a bunch of your clients right now are going to be open to it. It doesn't need to be labeled from a standpoint of, okay, we're going to sit down for our 5-minute meditative practice.
No.
Close your eyes, frequency music, chimes, let's go. It doesn't need to be that. Like, perfect example, at the wedding, like the boomers in the room, right? You were able to get them into a state of actually doing it, even though, let's be honest, certain people there are closed off to it.
Well, that's what I was asking. How do you get people to do it? But I suppose it's setting the tone, right? Because the reality is once they do it, they will feel it. So the hardest part is getting someone just to take those first few breaths because then they will feel different.
Well, the really important thing we've been trying to work on is the language that we use within TBR, right? When it comes to the group classes, when it comes to anything else, we're looking at managing the language. And there's the melting away of the veil that Lino spoke about then, but a gateway into breath work for some people more likely might be the application on the gym floor. So if you're doing intervals. You might do 3 intervals and not cue their breath and watch them be short of breath and not even get their breath back before the next round. And then you go, cool, we're going to learn this thing really quickly. And then you teach them that and they go, oh my God, I'm not puffing anymore.
Zip your mouth, tongue, like.
So like when you learn these regulation techniques, then they go, because then you can look at their wattage, say on an assault bike and go, you've got to hit this wattage, and they can't quite make it. And then you learn how to bring them down and they're going to get more juice from the squeeze out of their sessions because they're able to come up, come back down, come up, come back down. And that's why the application within, let's say, an acute recovery principles, that's one of the first things I teach all of my MMA fighters because they have 60 seconds between rounds. And if they can bring their heart rate down 20 beats more than their opponent, they have this insane edge. And I've had some of my pro MMA guys drop their heart rate 60 beats in a minute in between rounds. And if your opponent doesn't have that, you both finish the round at 170 beats. You start the next round at 115, he starts at 140.
And
there's the edge.
And those are like those, breathwork technique hacks, right, that you can use and just deploy in a session, whatnot, to get buy-in. I would actually look at that step 3. I actually look at the whole process as if you're listening to this right now, you need to fucking do it yourself. So what I mean by that is you as the coach, you need to achieve a level of certainty and mastery around it yourself and practice to get time under the bar.
That's how we've built the course for the level 1, for self.
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing that comes with that is more certainty, right? Because once you build the confidence, you get certain. I kind of look at, to answer your question, what would be some ways to get people to do it? I look at it like a sales process. If you believe in your product because you've experienced the product, you as the coach / micro leader, you're setting the intention, you're setting the energy, you're holding the space. And that, like for you, when you hold space in a room or do something, or for me or for any of us, we do it from a place because you believe in it. You have certainty in it. So like that intention, but that doesn't come from just, I woke up one day and I fucking know it. I had to experience it.